Imagine a bridge spanning the Atlantic, not of steel but of trade, a bridge connecting 27 European Union nations with the vast landscapes of Canada. For years, this bridge has been under construction, promising prosperity, but also sparking fierce debate. What if a single agreement could reshape global commerce, create jobs, but also threaten livelihoods? Today we unravel the story of CETA, or the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, the European Union-Canada trade deal, a deal that promised to redefine transatlantic relations. This isn't just about tariffs, it's about the very fabric of our economies. So what is this agreement and how is it truly impacting our world? Let's dive in. To understand CETA, we first need to know the players. The European Union is one of the world's largest economies, Canada's second largest trading partner. Across the Atlantic, Canada is a significant global economic force, known for its vast natural resources and a booming technology sector with major AI hubs. It's within this dynamic landscape that emerged, provisionally applied since September 21, 2017, CETA aims to eliminate 98% of tariffs between the two. It's Canada's most significant bilateral trade undertaking since NAFTA. CETA is called a modern and progressive agreement because it explicitly includes commitments to labor rights, environmental protection, and sustainable development. However, a key tension exists. While these progressive elements are theoretically strong, their practical enforceability is debated, especially compared to the binding nature of investment protections. CETA is a next-generation trade agreement going beyond just lowering tariffs. It tackles non-tariff barriers, fosters regulatory cooperation, and sets frameworks for investment protection. This comprehensive scope marks a significant evolution in global trade policy. At its core, CETA provisionally eliminates 98% of existing tariffs. This means Canadian businesses gain preferential access to over 448 million European Union consumers, with 99% of European Union tariff lines becoming duty-free. To ease trade friction, CETA also addresses non-tariff barriers, simplifying the movement of goods and business persons across borders, including temporary entry provisions and customs facilitation to reduce processing times. A key feature is regulatory cooperation. A dedicated forum allows European Union and Canadian regulators to share information, aiming to prevent new trade barriers. CETA includes provisions for investor protection and non-discrimination. However, the controversial Investor-State Dispute Settlement (ISDS) provisions are not yet fully implemented due to CETA's mixed agreement status. CETA also significantly opens up government procurement markets, allowing Canadian suppliers to bid on European Union government contracts, and vice versa on equal terms. CETA has been provisionally applied since September 21, 2017. Most of its provisions are in effect, bringing immediate benefits, but CETA is a mixed agreement. This means it needs ratification not just by the European Union and Parliament, but by all individual European Union member states for full application. The fact that a single member state can hold up the agreement highlights a tension in European Union governance. Crucially, parts of CETA, primarily investment protection and ISDS, are not provisionally applied and await full ratification. This is a significant impediment as investment protection is vital for long-term, high-value investments in sectors like raw materials. As of mid-2025, Canada has fully ratified CETA, and the European Union Rope and Parliament approved it in 2017. However, 10 European Union member states have yet to ratify it, including Belgium, France, and Italy. Germany notably ratified in January 2023. This ongoing process means CETA's full scope is still subject to domestic politics. CETA's provisional application has already brought significant gains. Bilateral trade in goods and services surged by 71% from €72.2 billion in 2016 to €123 billion in 2023. European Union goods exports to Canada grew by 64% and services by 81%, supporting an estimated 700,000 European Union jobs. CETA contributed €3.2 billion annually to European Union GDP and €1.3 billion to Canada's GDP. Notably, SMEs exporting to Canada grew 20.3% faster than larger companies, challenging the idea that only big corporations benefit. Beyond trade, CETA fosters collaboration in R&D, technology, and sustainable development. Trade in environmental goods increased by 12% and services by 46%, showing CETA as a tool for climate goals. We've seen Alberta beef exporters succeed in Spain and clean tech and life sciences companies expanding in European Union, proving CETA's tangible benefits. Despite its benefits, CETA faces significant criticism. A contentious academic paper predicted over 300,000 job losses by 2023, a stark contrast to official figures highlighting a disagreement in economic modeling. Concerns persist for domestic industries like Canadian dairy and beef, fearing increased competition. The automobile industry worried CETA could create a backdoor for U.S. automakers into the European Union. A major concern is regulatory chill, fears that CETA's focus on simplifying regulations could lead to lower standards, impacting public services like healthcare and water. The controversial ISDS mechanism is seen by critics as granting corporations power to sue governments for public interest policies, potentially hindering new environmental or public health laws. Canada, having been the most sued state under NAFTA, faces heightened concerns. Despite CETA's progressive language, critics argue its labor and environmental provisions lack strong enforcement, making them symbolic rather than substantive. CETA's focus on energy-intensive goods and the ISDS mechanism also raise concerns about its impact on climate change efforts. The journey of CETA is far from over. Its provisional application has demonstrated significant economic benefits, yet persistent concerns over investor rights, regulatory impacts, and the slow pace of full ratification mean its future remains a subject of intense debate. Will CETA ultimately live up to its promise as a truly modern and progressive trade agreement, balancing economic growth with social and environmental safeguards, or will the political hurdles and unresolved controversies limit its full potential? Only time and the continued choices of nations will tell if this ambitious bridge across the Atlantic will stand complete, reshaping global trade for generations to come.